Peace be upon you. Many readers and book lovers are influenced by a number of writers and authors to this day. There are some authors throughout history who still retain the luster of their books that affected humanity and had a major role in spreading the literature of their country. In this video, we will talk about the most famous authors and writers throughout history. But before we start, do not forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel so that you receive all new. 1. Victor Hugo. He is one of the most famous and greatest French writers, and one of the most famous world writers at all. He started early in writing plays. He wrote his first play at the age of 14. Hugo contributed to the renewal of theater and poetry. 50 novels and plays into most languages of the world. Among his most famous novels are, Les Miserables, The Last Day of a Condemned Person, The Hunchback of Notre Dame, and The Workers of the Sea. 2. William Shakespeare. One of the most famous international writers, the famous English writer and poet, who was considered the greatest writer in the English language, and is called the national poet of England. During the course of his life, William Shakespeare wrote 38 plays, 154 poetic sonnets, 2 narrative poems and a number of other poems. Among his most famous works are, Hamlet, King Lear, Macbeth. His works have been translated into most languages of the world. 3. Franz Kafka. He is one of the world's most famous writers, a famous writer of Czech origin, and although he did not gain much fame during his life because his works were not published until after his death, and among his most famous novels, The Palace, The Messa, The Trial, which sparked great controversy. 4. Fyodor Dostoevsky. The famous Russian writer and novelist is one of the most famous and greatest world writers. He was a journalist and wrote novels and short stories. His style was distinguished by penetrating human souls and reaching their depths and influencing them. His works have been translated into most languages of the world. Among his most famous novels are, The Idiot, The Brothers Karamazov, Crime and Punishment, Demons, The Poor. 5. Leo Tolstoy. The Russian writer and novelist, who was considered one of the most famous world writers. His works have been translated into most languages of the world, and he is one of the most important and greatest Russian writers, and some critics consider him one of the greatest novelists ever. Now we will talk about the most famous Arab writers. 1. Naguib Mahfouz. Naguib Mahfouz is considered one of the most important writers in the Arab world. He is an Egyptian writer. He was born in the Gamliya neighborhood in Cairo on the 11th of December 1911 AD. He was awarded the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1988. 2. Ghassan Kanafani. Ghassan Kanafani was born in Acre in 1936, in the midst of a revolutionary family that participated in the struggle in the national revolution against the British occupation of Palestine. He is considered one of the most prominent writers of the Palestinian resistance and owns a number of influential books and novels, such as Returning to Haifa and Saad. 3. Taha Hussein. Taha Hussein was born on the 14th of November in the year 1889 AD, in the city of Maghaka in Egypt, and he is one of the most important Egyptian writers, who wrote many novels, stories, and social and political articles. In the end, we hope that you liked the video and do not forget to subscribe to the channel until everything new arrives, and bye bye.